What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ICNV Drive Session. Today I'm going to get into my Corvette C8 Zeus, and we are going to get into my 2-year ownership review. And I know it's long overdue, and at the same time I know this has become a dead horse beating situation. He is still dirty, but we're going to get him a bath and cleaned up soon because we have an event to go to not too long from now. But let's look past all of that, get into the specifics on my 2 years of ownership for my Corvette C8 Zeus. Let's go. Okay, if this is your first time tuning into the channel, my name is Swole. This is ICNV Drives Edition, and I own a 2020 Corvette C8, which I call Zeus. And then partially I call them Zeus's because of this color. And if you haven't seen the color or don't know what the color is, this color is called Zeus Bronze. And yes, I'm pretty sure he's not the only Zeus Bronze Corvette out there with the name Zeus, but it was just the simplest way of shortening it down, and that's why I call him Zeus. Now, the upgrades I have done to my car have been small, which I would like to say tasteful, and to change the look. Originally, I wanted to keep him bare bone stock so I could still have that Ferrari-esque look. But later I decided to make him more aggressive, so I decided to add on a front splitter. But this is not the same front splitter that I had a year ago. I decided to upgrade later in the year to what they call the ZR1 aggressive front splitter. So that's what you see on Zeus now. And I've also did the upgrade recently. You can check it out on one of the other videos on the channel. The biggest change I made to the car, which I feel, is the Aerolarry wheels. So Aerolarry wheels. This is the first set of what they call the Vega style wheels on Aerolarry. I worked along with the owner to design this set because I wanted a look on my car that would be for something other than just race car when you've seen it. So I want to have more of the look, as we could say, of a roadster. So did I really succeed? Because when you look at the rest of the car, which goes back to my other modification, I added the rear spoiler. The rear spoiler is called a ducktail spoiler. Some places also call it a duckbill spoiler. I guess it depends on which brand and which manufacturer you go with to get your spoiler. But to me, again, this still gave it an aggressive look, but not so much as a high wing that would make it seem like a straight all-performance race car. I still, like I said before, wanted to give it an aggressive look, a tasteful look, but still keep it from looking like a straight-out, all-in aggressive race car. I didn't want that persona about my C8. Now, the last modification that you will see on the exterior is my boiler exhaust system. The boiler exhaust system, I have the boiler attack. There are 2 different versions you can get. I chose the boiler attack, which I guess technically goes against everything I said before about the modifications I've done to Zeus, because it is the most aggressive sound and exhaust you can hear. And anytime I drive in that mode, all you think of or all you hear is race car. I see people looking around like who's coming, and it is Zeus. But I will tell you, the exhaust note and the sound is 100% amazing, and that's why I fell in love with it. Now, there are other nice exhaust systems out there like AWE, of course, and so forth, but for me, when I went to Corvettes in Carlisle, got to hear them all side by side, there isn't that big of a difference between them. But the one thing I really truly liked about the boiler exhaust was the heat shield protection and the ability to keep the open and closed feature of my NPP exhaust system. I upgraded to it for the extra 5 horsepower boost from just the base C8, and I actually like the ability to tone down the exhaust note and increase the exhaust note. I think this is the perfect time to take a quick break and ask you guys to hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that like button if you like the content you've seen so far, and join the ICNV Drive Edition community. Subscribe to the channel. Continue to help us grow, but also by joining the community, it's an interactive community. So if you leave a comment below, I will gladly respond. And if there's something you would like to talk about, hit me up on one of my social media platforms. I'll gladly get back to you with an answer. And possibly I'll make a video about the topic and drop it amongst the other videos and content that we have coming your way. So join the ICNV Drive Edition community. But for now, let's get back to this video. Other than tinting the windows and adding a few of the ICNV Drive Edition logos across the car, those are the most, I would say, visual aspects you can see of the changes I've done to Zeus in my ownership. But I also put on Zeus PPF, and I get this question all the time. What is PPF? It's paint protection film. It's actually just like putting a wrap on a car for most people that don't understand, but it's clear and it helps preserve the paint that's up under it. So it doesn't really take away from the look of the car and the color that you have, but it also helps you protect the look of the car, the paint that's up under it. And I put that all the way across my car. Now, some people ask me, how much should I go with the PPF? Well, I'll just be honest with you. The PPF is on the lights, it's on the front bumper, it's on the hood, it's on the front flares, it goes down the door, it's on the mirrors, it's pretty much on the trunk. But where the PPF does not go is my roof. And some people will say, why didn't you do the roof? Because I know there are people with coupes that have actually put PPF on their roof. And honestly, the reason why my roof did not get wrapped with PPF, because there was a concern about and actually how it would handle up once you fold the roof up and put it inside with the heat from the engine bay. So for that purpose alone, a decision was made not to put PPF on my roof. But other than that, and the back rear bumper, because of the installation of the rear wing, these are the only 2 locations on my car that does not have PPF on them, which I think is okay in my book. Maybe not. I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments. Now, moving to the interior of the vehicle, I really haven't done much change inside the interior except for maybe 2 major things. One would actually be the embroidery of the Corvette logo on the headrest. I did reach out to several people to try to get that completely stitched in. I wasn't able to, but I did find a company with embroidery logos for the C8, and I installed them on the Corvette C8 seat. I actually met somebody as of recently out in the Chicagoland area, actually the northwest suburbs, that said they can actually stitch that whole logo into the seat for me. And possibly, because you know I like to really represent the brand, get ICNVDE also stitched inside this interior. So that's one thing I'm debating on, is upgrading the interior of my Corvette C8. Once you get past that, those are the modifications I added. Now, for those of you asking which version of the Corvette is this, this is a 3LT HTC. Zeus Bronze is actually a rare color. It was actually one of 100 Corvette C8s made for 2020 in a convertible aspect. It was also one of 11 in this color combination spec for 2020. So Zeus is actually one of 11 for 2020. Now, when we add on the year 2021, because they only produced this color for 2 years, there became a total of 1,058 cars produced. And out of the 2021 add-ons to the selection, there was only additional like 78 cars made. That is a rare car. And then when you go back to this color spec alone, like I said, it was one of 11 for 2020. I'm not sure how many others got the exact color combination in a convertible, But what I do know, out the additional 70 plus Corvettes made in Zeus runs in a convertible, less than 20 were 3LZ. At worst case, he's one of 30, and that's still extremely rare. So that's what makes it hard for me to separate or move on from this Corvette. Now, I did have the MPP, as I explained before, which is that's the performance exhaust system, which gives you an extra 5 horsepower. I did not go with the Z51 package. I always get asked that question, but I wasn't looking for the extra performance, or should I say the track focus of the car. So we can always have that conversation, which I get into all the time, but I chose not to go that route. And then the 3LT only made sense to me because of the upgrade in the interior. For those of you that don't know, because I always see all the time that they say, I wouldn't pay extra for the 3LT. Well, what you have to understand is, if you are into luxury cars, and I am, and you like luxury interiors, which I do, it does not make sense to me not to have a full leather dash to replace that with plastic. It does not make sense to me not to have the Alcantara, or AKA suede, as they say, head roof. I look at other cars, I look at other Corvette C8s, and when I see them in a lesser grade, when this stuff is plastic, it just doesn't have the same appeal to me. You can have your belief, but I have mine, and I just feel like upgrading to the 3LT made the most sense because it gave me the most luxury I could get with my car. Now, hopefully that answers all the questions you guys have about my 2-year ownership with Zeus. If it hasn't, please hit me up in the description below. Drop your questions, drop your comments. I will gladly respond when I get a chance. But as always, ICNV Drives Edition, don't forget to hit that like button. Like I said, if this is your first time to the channel, you enjoyed the content, subscribe, follow me. I have a lot more content with Zeus, and I got some other stuff I'm working on behind the scenes that I think you're going to enjoy as the channel continues to progress and grow. But as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will see you in these streets. Peace.